I started participating first on exchanges, on training courses. I was trying to get knowledge, to get experience, to learn from good and from bad practices. In 2014, with a friend, I started NGO. So that was my first experience of actually being a project manager in 2015. I can say that this was the feeling that was overwhelming. We were not very experienced at that time, but motivation and just a pure desire was leading me, and I used this. I can say now when I look back a few years later, it was a really good learning experience. When we are deciding which topic we are going to use on a youth exchange, we use many different sources. My favorite source is always to consult young people, because youth exchanges are done for young people. For example, on exchange that we had last December, Tolerance Above All, we had a meeting with the local school. We were asking them what are their needs, what they would like to learn, and this is how we created an exchange that was focused on intercultural learning and breaking stereotypes that young people might have about other youngsters from different countries, different cultures than their own. Also, what we are using is during our local workshops or during international projects, what are the needs that we observe. I remember on a camping exchange, we noticed that young people are really out of shape, that they cannot go hiking for 2 hours or biking for 10 kilometers. And this is what made us think what we can do as a youth workers to improve the situation. Deciding what the topic of the exchange will be is just the first step, but after it we need to develop the idea even more. And in my opinion, it is very important in the whole process to always use the knowledge and ideas from our partners from one side, and then from the other side also to have young people included, because trust me, sometimes you're going to get surprised with the creativity and the ideas that the young people have. Sometimes the ideas for exchange come from young people, and then our role is just to support them and to help them to create, to write this project and later to implement it. On the other side, for the projects that are created during the meetings with the partners, it's important to still involve young people, to make a research, to check what are their needs, what are their desires. And we put a lot of focus in choosing the right partners. Depending what our goal is, what type of exchange we want to organize, we are going to contact organizations who are going to contribute more to that project and who are also going to be more interested. And we as an organization prefer working with the people that we met. It can be on a partnership building activity, which is a really good place for meeting organizations, or even the participants who came to our projects. They started new organization, they are part of another NGO. In some cases, we don't have still in our network organization that is the perfect profile for the project that we want to organize, and it's really good to consult your network. Check, maybe some of your partners have suggestions, maybe they have some organization that would be perfect for this topic or for this target group. Even me, I can say that I came on a training course from NaturKultur in 2013. A year later, I started my organization in Croatia, and now, 6 years later, these two organizations created more than 20 projects together in Germany, in Croatia, sending EVS and ESC volunteers and being partners on Q2 projects. Other than this, we still believe that it's important to give chance to new organizations, because if you're having just a closed group of partners, then you're missing out on a lot of new knowledge and skills that new organizations, new youth workers can bring to your projects. In all the projects that we organize, we try to include young people in all phases, from writing the project to writing the final report. As example, last year in June we had the Exchange Connect to Create that was focused on gaining practical skills that many young people are missing and just utilizing do-it-yourself approach. We were having a meeting with volunteers who didn't know even how to change the bulb in their house. They couldn't fix the small things. During the preparation phase, you can include young people in many different ways. They can help with preparing info pack, preparation pack. You can give a homework, they can make a research, or they can help you if you're organizing a final event during the exchange. They can help you with organizing the venue, organizing the local trips during the exchange. We had exchange called Pamela Evolution. Pamela stands for Poetry and Music equals Legendary Art, where young people created 2 main events, and during these events, by using art, photography, painting, poetry, they were addressing specific needs, and they were addressing issues that they see in the world, such as exclusion, discrimination. They organized the event, they promoted the event, they were hosting the event, we were just there as a support for them. In the dissemination phase, we give them a task that they need to organize an event, a workshop, or an action that they are going to do after returning home. My suggestion is to make sure that during your exchange, where they are motivated, where they are inspired, you dedicate certain time for young people to start working on their action after going back home. One of my favorite parts of supporting young people in writing the project is developing a timetable, a daily program of the workshops. From my experience, it's very important to have a flow. Every workshop needs to have its own goals. You need to think how the workshop is going to be connected with the goal of the exchange, with the goal of the whole project, with the learning outcomes that you want to have. We start, and then we are going up. In the middle of the exchange is the part that is most intense. This is the place where participants often have aha moments, their biggest learning outcomes, and then in the second part of the exchange, we again slowly reduce the pace of the exchange. At the beginning, it's important to start with developing group dynamics, with team building, with making sure that you create a safe environment for people where they can express themselves, where they can show who they are, what they know, where they can contribute to the exchange. And then after you develop this group dynamics, it's going to be much easier to work during the whole exchange. On the exchange that we organized in April last year, called Healthy Lifestyle, we had young people aged 13 to 17 coming from 4 different countries, and each partner asked them what you would like to have on this exchange. This is how we came up with some very interesting workshops. We had meditation, we had yoga, we had one day where we didn't have phones, we had vegetarian days. We put a lot of focus on intercultural learning because we believe that this is an important part of every youth exchange. One of the things that contribute to this intercultural learning is cultural nights. Every country that has a cultural nights on our projects is cooking. So participants from Italy, for example, prepare traditional Italian meal for the whole group of 40 young people. I saw that young people are really proud. It's not easy. It takes a lot of effort, but they are feeling very proud not just to bring some things from their country, but to prepare something and show their culture in this way. Intercultural learning can start even before the exchange itself. On the exchange that we had last year in April, we asked young people to bring their favorite book from their home in their own language. And then on our exchange, we had a book exchange. Every participant took randomly one book, and then the previous owner of the book explained them what is book about and explained them how this book is connected with them. Mix people, mix them in different nationalities in the rooms, because a lot of intercultural learning happens not just during the sessions, but outside of the sessions in informal environment. Also, when you're having sessions, try to make mixed nationalities groups, teams, so that people can spend more time with young people from other countries and get to know them. On Salto Youth Toolbox, you have a lot of good workshops that are focused on intercultural learning, such as Albatros or Barga. Don't just copy what you find there. Think how you can adjust this to your target group, to the participants that are on your exchange. Also think about the profile of participants. Young people who don't speak English, do something that is more acting or playing with cards and learning about culture through this way. For the ones who are speaking English better, you might use discussions or learning through presentations. We have exchange Let's Dance Together that is focused on dances. We had an exchange where young people were learning about cultures through cooking called Breaking Bread, Breaking Barriers. We had exchanges that were focused on music, about resolving conflicts. Youth exchanges are based on non-formal learning, and in all the exchanges that we are doing, we try to have experiential learning, peer learning. Instead of just showing things, learning by doing is how you can make a real difference with the young people. Last September, we had exchange Behind the Curtain that was where the main topic was inclusion, and young people didn't just have presentations about inclusion, but from the scratch they created a puppet theater, and then they went to a home for people with disabilities and they performed in front of them. They went and they did something where they can include people who are often marginalized in our society. On another exchange, instead of just showing videos of do-it-yourself approach, young people created a vegetables garden, outdoor gym, decorations, and then in the end we created a main event exhibition where we invited local population and the young people presented all the things that they were doing during the exchange and everything that they learned. Impact on young people is in some cases visible already on the spot, on the exchange, while in some other cases it takes a little bit longer time. On the exchange in Healthy Lifestyle, we had a day without the phones. At the beginning, all the participants were complaining how they are going to go through the whole day without using social media, without talking with their friends from their own country. But already tomorrow, they were happy for this experience, and many of them came voluntarily. They took their phone and they said, I'm not going to use it again today. So they put it in the box and they said, I prefer spending time with the real people here who are with me on this exchange instead of just scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. In some other cases, the change takes a little bit longer and it's important to involve partners so the project doesn't end when the exchange ends. After participants come back home, we as organizers do evaluation 1 month after the exchange, see what changed in the life of young people. We can even at this moment still notice the impact that it had on young people. In the exchange, Active Change Makers, just a few days ago, we had a participant from that exchange leaving NaturKultur after doing a 1-year ESC in our organization. Another participant from the same project is coming to NaturKultur to do his volunteering. This year, in February, we went to Brussels as a part of Youth Exchange EU in good times and in bad times, and it was really amazing that while visiting European Parliament, a young girl that was a year before being in European Parliament for the first time with our exchange. After going back home, she decided that she wants to apply for internship in European Parliament. She got selected and she was being able to host us in Brussels. The same exchange, EU in good times and in bad, is also an example of big impact that it has on partner organizations because they contact politicians from their own country who are representing their country in Brussels. They make many connections. They develop their network both on a local and on international level. We always try to have a final event for local community, something where young people can make a difference first in the local community of the place where we are organizing the exchange, but then afterwards also in the local community after they go back home. A small example that shows that even a small action can make a big difference is our exchange Active Change Makers. When young people came to Osterholz-Scharbeck and during one of the sessions we went, we cleaned the signs, we painted the bus stops, and people from the local town, they were coming to us and they were very happy to see young people, foreigners, doing something making a difference in their local community. They got inspired, and this is how also many of them recommended their daughters, sons to join some of our projects. If I could go back in time and talk with myself when I was just starting working as a project manager, I would definitely have some advices. The first advice would be, don't prolong anything. Do the things on time. If you're writing the project, start writing the project early enough to have enough time to consult partners, young people. When you're communicating with partners and participants, do it regularly. Make sure that you're not doing anything in the last moment. After the exchange finishes, don't wait 1 month to start writing the final report. The second thing that I would say to my younger self is to create procedures, to create a list of all the things that you need to do as a project manager. Everything that you have to do from the first step, and then check it regularly. When you do something, cross it off the list. Trust me, long term, it's going to save a lot of your time, and it's just going to make your life as a project manager easier. Make sure that you have the right people around you. From my experience, the most important thing organizing youth exchanges training courses is having the right team. Having people who are going to support you, who are going to do even the things that are not their own job, is something that is crucial.